Hey, this is Pastor Mike. Thanks for joining me today for PerkStream. I'm glad you could stop by, and I hope that you're encouraged today. As we do this series called Prepare the Way, I just want to encourage us that I really do believe that God would like to come to us and be with us in a unique way. I don't know what that necessarily looks like, but I believe that one of the things that we can do is take a cue from Isaiah in Isaiah 40 when he said, "Prepare the way for the Lord and make straight a highway for our God." He was talking to people who had no hope that God was for them, being able to tell them, no, not only is God for you, but God's going to visit you, and it's time to prepare the way for him to do that. Well, how can we have that expectation? How can we have the expectation that the Lord's going to do anything? I think it's pretty simple. When God says something, it happens. If God speaks it, his word is good as gold. In that same chapter of Isaiah 40, starting at verse 6, it says, "A voice says, 'Cry out.' And I said, 'What shall I cry out?'" So Isaiah is responding to a voice that says, "Hey, speak this." Now, what is he supposed to speak? He says, "All people are like grass, and all their faithfulness is like flowers of the fields. The grass withers and fades." Now, that doesn't sound very hopeful. In fact, I'm thinking, wow, I'm like grass. I'm like the grass here in southeastern Pennsylvania that hasn't had any water in a while, so it's crunchy and it's brown, and that's my faithfulness. Well, there's a reason that Isaiah makes that comparison. The comparison is meant to say that, we're here for a little while. And quite honestly, sometimes our faithfulness is like grass that grows up green and then withers and dies. But God's faithfulness never withers or fades. God's faithfulness is forever. It's from everlasting, and it's to everlasting that he is faithful. And that's good news. In fact, that's such good news that that's what we can take to the bank when we're wondering, does God keep his word? We can count on him to keep his word, that he is going to come to us. Maybe you've heard Beth Friesen, one of our worship leaders, tell this story about a boy associated with Camp Meadowland and how he prays. And when he talks to God, he says, "God say, God say this." It might sound like, "God say to the hurricane, go away." God say to this person, "Be healed." God say, "Come to me." And his dad decided to ask him, "Why do you pray that way?" And his son replied, "Because when God says something, it happens." We can take that all the way back to creation and realize that when God said, "Let there be light," light happened. So anytime God says something, action, something goes into action. What an awesome reminder. And I appreciate hearing this story. And I love telling this story because it sets up this expectation that if God says something, he's going to do it. So if God says he's going to visit us, we can take that to the bank. What our part to do is have the expectation that he is going to keep his word. If he says it, he's going to show up. So let's prepare the way for the Lord to work in our lives. Make sure all the obstacles are moved out of the way. Make sure our hearts are ready. Because for God to visit Perk Church as a whole, each of us individually must be ready for that visitation. We all need to be prepared individually for what he's going to do for us corporately. He has said that the gates of hell will not prevail against his church. He said he's going to be with us always. We can count on those promises. So let's prepare the way for the Lord because he said, "I'm coming." He said, "This is so." So let's do that. And let's expect God to keep his word because we know that if God said it, it's going to happen. God bless you today. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. And I hope to see you back here again next week.